Britain and Japan, two island nations, shared a common ambition to build global empires. Britain, an early starter, established a vast empire spanning continents. Japan, a late bloomer, sought to carve out its own sphere of influence in East Asia and the Pacific. The British Empire, often called the empire on which the sun never sets, was a testament to Britain's naval prowess and economic might. Japan envisioned a greater East Asia co-prosperity sphere, fueled by economic necessity and rising nationalism. The clash of these two empires would shape the political landscape of Asia and the world. The seeds of Britain's empire were sown centuries before Japan emerged from its self-imposed isolation. During the late 16th century, under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, Britain began to explore and expand its influence overseas. This period marked the beginning of a vast empire that would eventually span the globe. While Elizabethan adventurers laid the groundwork for British colonialism, Japan was entering the Edo period, characterized by strict social hierarchy and seclusion. The Tokugawa shogunate enforced policies that isolated Japan from the rest of the world, focusing on internal development and maintaining order. This isolation fostered internal stability but left Japan lagging behind the West in technological and military advancements. The Edo period saw Japan develop a unique culture and society, but it also meant that Japan missed out on the rapid advancements occurring in Europe and America. British ships, powered by global trade, established trading posts and colonies across the globe. The British Empire's reach extended to the Americas, Africa, and Asia, creating a network of trade that brought immense wealth and resources back to Britain. The East India Company became a de facto ruler in India, laying the foundation for British dominance. This private company, with its own army, played a crucial role in expanding British influence in the Indian subcontinent, eventually leading to direct British rule. The arrival of American Commodore Matthew Perry in 1853 shattered Japan's isolation, forcing it to confront Western powers. Perry's fleet of black ships demanded that Japan open its ports to trade, marking the end of over 2 centuries of seclusion. This event marked a turning point, propelling Japan on its own path towards empire building. The Meiji Restoration that followed led to rapid industrialization and modernization, transforming Japan into a formidable global power in its own right. Britain and Japan pursued vastly different paths to expand their influence. Britain adopted an economic approach, leveraging its naval power to establish a vast trading empire. Japan embraced a militaristic approach, driven by vulnerability and nationalistic fervor. The British Empire was built on trade and commerce, with the East India Company transforming into a de facto ruler in India. Japan's imperial expansion was characterized by military conquest and territorial expansion. The Meiji Restoration in 1868 marked Japan's rapid modernization and militarization. These different approaches had profound consequences for their empires and their legacies. Geography played a pivotal role in shaping the destinies of both the British and Japanese empires. The natural resources available, or the lack thereof, significantly influenced their paths to power and their imperial ambitions. Britain, blessed with abundant coal reserves and a strategic island location, rose as a global power. The coal deposits fueled the Industrial Revolution, transforming Britain into the world's workshop and enabling it to build a formidable navy. Japan, on the other hand, faced geographical limitations that constrained its imperial ambitions. The mountainous terrain and scarcity of natural resources, particularly coal, posed significant challenges for Japan's industrialization and expansion. Coal was the lifeblood of Britain's industrial and imperial might, providing energy for factories and warships. This energy source was crucial for maintaining its global dominance and supporting its extensive colonial empire. Japan's limited coal reserves forced it to rely on imports, a strategic vulnerability. This dependency on foreign coal made Japan's industrial base and military expansion more precarious and influenced its aggressive foreign policies. Britain's island geography shielded it from invasion, allowing it to develop naval power. The natural moat of the surrounding seas provided a defensive advantage, enabling Britain to focus on building a powerful navy to protect its interests and expand its empire. Japan's proximity to the Asian mainland made it vulnerable to invasion, influencing its imperial strategies. This geographical reality pushed Japan to secure resources and territories through military means, shaping its aggressive expansionist policies in the early 20th century. Britain and Japan employed distinct approaches to colonial administration. Britain favored indirect rule, relying on local elites to maintain order and administer its colonies. Japan adopted a more direct and often brutal form of colonial control, seeking to assimilate conquered populations. In India, the British East India Company ruled through alliances with local rulers and indigenous elites. Japan's colonial empire was characterized by direct rule, military occupation, and cultural assimilation. In Korea, Japan imposed policies suppressing Korean language and culture. These contrasting approaches highlight the complexities and contradictions of empire. The rise and fall of the Japanese Empire cannot be understood without considering the role of the United States. From the mid-19th century to the mid-20th century, the interactions between these two nations shaped the course of history in the Asia-Pacific region. The arrival of Commodore Matthew Perry in 1853 marked a turning point, forcing Japan to confront Western powers. Perry's black ships in Tokyo Bay symbolized the end of Japan's isolationist policies and the beginning of a new era. The United States played a key role in opening up Japan to Western influence, paving the way for its modernization. This period saw Japan rapidly adopting Western technologies and practices, transforming itself into a formidable industrial power by the late 19th century. Japan's growing ambitions in Asia brought it into conflict with the United States, culminating in the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. This surprise military strike led to the United States' entry into World War II, drastically altering the dynamics of the conflict. The Pacific War ended in Japan's unconditional surrender in 1945, marking the end of its imperial ambitions. The devastation of the atomic bombings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki played a crucial role in Japan's decision to surrender. The American occupation of Japan aimed to demilitarize and democratize Japanese society, transforming it into a peaceful nation. This period of occupation saw significant reforms in Japan's political, economic, and social structures, laying the foundation for its post-war recovery and growth. The defeat of Japan in World War II left the nation in ruins. Yet, from the ashes of defeat, Japan staged a remarkable recovery, transforming into an economic powerhouse. The American occupation played a crucial role in laying the foundation for Japan's economic recovery. American aid and economic advisors helped restructure the Japanese economy, promoting export-oriented growth. Japanese companies invested heavily in research and development, focusing on electronics, automobiles, and consumer goods. Japanese products soon flooded global markets, propelling Japan to the forefront of the global economy. Despite the costs, Japan's post-war economic transformation remains a remarkable achievement. Japan found a different path to global influence in the post-war era, the power of soft power. Through its unique culture, technological innovation, and economic prowess, Japan captivated the world. Japanese cinema, anime, and manga became global phenomena, attracting a devoted following. Japanese cuisine, renowned for its artistry and flavors, became a global culinary sensation. Japan's technological prowess contributed to its soft power, with companies like Sony, and Toyota becoming household names. Japan's approach to business management has been studied and emulated worldwide. Japan demonstrated the power of soft power to transcend borders and shape global perceptions. The question of whether Japan could have built a global empire to rival Britain's is a tantalizing thought experiment. Japan possessed many attributes of a successful imperial power, but faced significant challenges. Japan's late entry into empire building put it at a disadvantage with limited options for expansion. Japan's dependence on foreign resources made its empire vulnerable. Brutal colonial policies sowed resentment and resistance among conquered populations. An alternate history with shrewd diplomacy and strategic alliances could have forged a different path. However, Japan's imperial project was deeply intertwined with its militaristic ideology and ambition.